The Poppy Seed Cakes by Marjorie Clark. Illustrated by Maud and Miska Petersham. Once upon a time, there was a little boy and his name was MBacc. His mother and his father brought him from the old country when he was a tiny baby. MBacc had an auntie Katushka, and she came from the old country too on MBacc's 4th birthday. MBacc's auntie Katushka came on a large boat. She brought with her a huge bag filled with presents for MBacc and his father and his mother. In the huge bag were a fine feather bed and a bright shawl and 5 pounds of poppy seeds. The fine feather bed was made from the feathers of her old green goose at home. It was to keep MBacc warm when he took a nap. The bright shawl was for MBacc's auntie Katushka to wear when she went to market. The 5 pounds of poppy seeds were to sprinkle on little cakes which MBacc's auntie Katushka made every Saturday for MBacc. One lovely Saturday morning, MBacc's auntie Katushka took some butter and some sugar and some flour and some milk and 7 eggs, and she rolled out some nice little cakes. Then she sprinkled each cake with some of the poppy seeds which she had brought from the old country. While the nice little cakes were baking, she spread out the fine feather bed on top of the big bed for MBacc to take his nap. MBacc did not like to take a nap. MBacc loved to bounce up and down on his fine feather bed. MBacc's auntie Katushka took the nice little cakes out of the oven and put them on the table to cool. Then she put on her bright shawl to go to market. MBacc, she said, please watch these cakes while you rest on your fine feather bed. Be sure that the kitten and the dog do not go near them. Yes, indeed. I will watch the nice little cakes, said MBacc. And I will be sure that the kitten and the dog do not touch them. But all MBacc really did was to bounce up and down on the fine feather bed. Just as MBacc was bouncing up in the air for the 9th time, he heard a queer noise that sounded like hiss at the front door of his house. Oh, what a queer noise, cried MBacc. He jumped down off the fine feather bed and opened the front door. There stood a great green goose as big as MBacc himself. The goose was very cross and was scolding as fast as he could. He was wagging his head and was opening and closing his long red beak. What do you want? Said MBacc. What are you scolding about? I want all the goose feathers from your fine feather bed, quacked a big green goose. They are mine. They are not yours, said MBacc. My auntie Katushka brought them with her from the old country in a huge bag. They are mine, quacked the big green goose. He waddled over to the fine feather bed and tugged at it with his long red beak. Stop, green goose, said MBacc, and I will give you one of Auntie Katushka's poppy seed cakes. A poppy seed cake? The green goose quacked in delight. I love nice little poppy seed cakes. Give me one, and you shall have your feather bed. But one poppy seed cake could not satisfy the greedy green goose. Give me another! MBacc gave the green goose another poppy seed cake. Give me another! The big green goose hissed and frightened the undershag nearly out of his wits. Undershag gave him another and another and another till all the poppy seed cakes were gone. Just as the last poppy seed cake disappeared down the long neck of the green goose, Undershag's auntie Katushka appeared at the door in her bright shawl. "Boo-hoo!" cried Undershag. "See, the naughty green goose has eaten all the poppy seed cakes!" "What? All my nice little poppy seed cakes?" cried Undershag's auntie Katushka. "The naughty goose!" The greedy goose tugged at the fine feather bed again with his long red beak and started to drag it to the door. Undershag's auntie Katushka ran after the green goose, and just then there was a dreadful explosion. The greedy goose had stuffed himself with poppy seed cakes, had burst, and his feathers flew all over the room. "Well, well," said Undershag's auntie Katushka as she gathered up the pieces of the big green goose. "We soon shall have 2 fine feather pillows for your fine feather bed."